10, Hilary Calvert.
To the Minister of Māori Affairs, does he stand by his statement, "The focus will be on finding the best balance of customary rights in the interests of the wider public"? And what concerns, if any, has he raised with the Attorney-General over the Marine and Coastal Area Takutai Moana Bill?
The Honourable Dr. Pita Sharples.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, I do stand by that, and as Minister I have not raised any concerns with the Attorney-General about the bill, but I've made representations to the Attorney-General in other capacities.
Hilary Calvert.
Supplementary. Does he share Ngāi Tahu's concern that the bill, quote, would revisit on us the injustices of the past because it is built on tests that exclude us from our rights based on past injustices? If not, how are Ngāi Tahu wrong?
Point of order, Te Ururoa Flavell.
Mr. Speaker, I just seek some clarity around this, and I suppose it goes to the issue about the responsibility for answering these questions. In this case, questions with respect to the Pita Takutai Moana sit firmly and squarely with the Attorney-General. And while I think in the past you've accepted that it is okay for members or ministers at least to give opinions about how they feel about particular things, it must be within the realm of a particular portfolio. In this case, the Honourable Mr. Finlayson is in charge of this bill and therefore would be an appropriate person to answer that question in the sense of seeking a view about Ngāi Tahu. I ask if you could consider that, please.
The member has made a very good point of order that it is quite correct that the supplementary questions must relate to the Minister's responsibilities, and in this case, and the questions need to be careful not to be asking detail about the bill, which is the responsibility of the Attorney-General. So what I'd like to do is invite the member to restate her question, bearing that in mind, that her primary question was perfectly okay because it asked whether the Minister stood by his statement and what concerns he had raised with the Attorney-General, but she cannot question the Minister about the detail of the bill because that is not that Minister's responsibility. Hilary Calvert.
It was asking whether he had any concerns about Ngāi Tahu's...
I invite the member to restate a question, but I'd ask for silence so that I can hear it carefully. This is an important matter. Hilary Calvert.
Does he share Ngāi Tahu's concern in the submission they made to the Māori Affairs Committee that the bill would revisit on us the injustices of the past because it is built on tests that exclude us from our rights based on past injustices?
The Te Ururoa Flavell, point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I just ask again with respect to seeking opinion about what anybody says or didn't say, in particular about the bill that's the Takutai Moana bill. Again, the question seems to be heading in the same direction and therefore should be fairly and squarely in the hands of the Honourable Mr. Finlayson, surely.
It's an interesting issue. The question asked, does he share the concerns of a group, was it Ngāi Tahu, who made submissions on the bill? Ministers can be asked, especially the Minister of Māori Affairs, for their opinion about matters, affecting Māori without the need to comment on detail of the bill. The Minister is definitely not responsible for the detail of the bill. I believe the Minister, insofar as he's able, since he's not responsible for the bill, could attempt to answer that question. The Honourable Dr. Pita Sharples.
Point of order.
Point of order to Te Ururoa Flavell.
Mr. Speaker, the problem might be that, firstly, that the Honourable Dr. Pita Sharples wasn't at the Select Committee hearings, not able to offer an opinion on that because he hasn't seen that, and therefore the relevance of the question is pretty much out of order.
But the member has made a perfectly good point. That would be a perfectly good answer. And that's the thing, that in answering this kind of question, ministers, when they're not responsible for a bill, can answer in that way. The Honourable Dr. Pita Sharples.
While I'm not responsible for the bill will come before me later after the Select Committee have finished, and then I'll deliberate.
Hilary Calvert.
Supplementary. Does the Minister of Māori Affairs agree with Maori Party MP Hone Harawira that the bill is not what we marched for in 2004.
Point of order, Te Ururoa Flavell.
Sir, I ask you to reflect again. It's in the same line as the first question, that any reference to the bill itself must surely fit with the Attorney General, who has responsibility for this particular bill, and of course that's where it should fit.
Speaking to the... Sorry. Didn't mean to yell.
Order. It's all right. Order. And these are... Order. I'm on my feet. Order. I mean, these are important issues, and what I'd like to suggest is that what a member cannot ask a minister who's not responsible for the bill to, whether or not they agree with a particular statement like that, because it's inviting the minister to accept some responsibility for the bill, and it's not his bill. I think I'd have to rule that question out, but I invite the member, because she's only got, this is her last supplementary. I'll give her another chance to ask a supplementary, but she must remember she cannot, the minister she's questioning is not the minister responsible for the bill. The question cannot in any way cause him to act as if he's responsible for the bill. And it makes questioning quite difficult, but I don't want to rule out the member's opportunity to ask a further supplementary question. Hilary Calvert. Hilary Calvert, further, if she'd like to a further supplementary question.
Has the Minister of Maori Affairs received advice concerning any of the submissions made to the Maori Affairs Select Committee on the bill relating to Hone Harawira's statement that it is not what we marched for in 2004?
The Honourable Dr. Pita Sharples.
No.
Question number 11.